So when we were deciding what we were going to do for our campus, we thought, and the interesting part is we were on a plan to do hybrid learning well before the pandemic started, and to do a full upgrade across campus. And we actually picked the Hudley IQ, which I have in front of me, as our camera, because I have this hate, I have a hate for PTZ cameras where faculty have to become the video producer, because one of two things happen. They either do the widest thing out ever, and or they zoom right into the lectern and it looks great, and then they walk away for the lectern for the next hour and go to the whiteboard. And so we did the ePTZ camera, where it gives the opportunity for them to kind of move around and all. So that's what that is. So Sarah, it is the Hudley IQ. There you go.
And if anybody's wondering,
I know, look at that.
If anybody's wondering what camera I'm using a built-in camera. It came with my computer. For what it's worth, the headphones I'm using are these Logitech ones, which are fancy but don't glow, which is, you wouldn't believe how hard it is to find fancy headphones these days that don't glow. I like them so much I got a second pair. But what I noticed is when I use these for recordings, I record a podcast with them, and well, not anymore, because after a while of me speaking, it starts trailing off, and I think maybe that might just be Zoom doing some kind of noise canceling, or the headphones telling me I need to shut up.
Chris, do you?
I will make no comment about you needing to shut up. Okay, I just did.
Does your headset glow? Chris, are you wearing your glowing headset?
No, I don't have.
Okay, because I was going to see.
I don't have RGB in my headset now.
Okay.
Wait.
Now my mouse, on the other hand.
I want a glowing headset.
Oh, you muted yourself.
No, sorry,
you
does
muted.
your keyboard glow?
Oh, but of course.
How cute is that?
Put it closer to yourself if we're going to see it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, like you're wearing it.
Well, we should do something, shouldn't we? All right. So, we didn't plan this, but you know what? I do great with no planning. This is how I live my life, off of not planning things. So we're doing a live Higher Ed AV podcast recording right here. Those of you, technical timeout. You ready for this one? Here we go. Theme music coming. We got to go. We got to rock out. We're rocking out to the theme music because, Kristen, look at you going. Okay, I'm going to you first because that means you had a good old day. So, hey, you are all listening to the Higher Ed AV podcast, and you are listening to this on Tuesday, April. We're recording on Wednesday, April 7th, but you're listening to this on Tuesday, April. Do the math. 13. And therefore, and we're doing a live recording at the end of the mega conference that you all heard of 3 weeks ago, and now we're here, and I've already lost control of the show, and I've just literally I don't even know where I'm going to actually post it from, because I hit record the second I came on. So I'm going to have to listen back and see where it all went. So we've got a big old group of people, of which I only know 3 of them. So I'm going to start with the 3 I know. Kristen, you're rocking out. How was the conference? Talk to me. Introduce yourself. Reintroduce yourself. Do whatever. Kill time.
This is Kristen Rivedal. I am employed by the Colorado Community College System. I am involved in this conference through the e-learning consortium of Colorado. One of the committee members, nobody assigned titles, so we don't bother with that. It's like we all do everything. And ending a day of a conference like this is like though I did not drink 17 cups of coffee all day long, my whole body is buzzing as if I had, just because you're bopping to so many different places and doing so many different things. But a remarkably successful first day. I have to say, at the end of day 1, we are at 1,955 registrants to the conference.
Wait, what was that again?
1,955 registrants.
OMG. Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. We need to stop there. I was going for my little soundboard thing and it didn't work well, but it's okay. When we recorded your episode like a few weeks ago, you were at like 700 and we're thinking maybe we're going to get to 1,000.
Yeah. Some of us sent them out to rather large listservs and said, hey, this is free and kind of looking cool.
Wow, that is amazing. I'm like stumped where to go. I'm gonna go to Kay then and just say, introduce yourself again. And what do you think of that?
Okay, I'm Kay Novak. I love the numbers. So 1955, we want to go to 2000, and also Stacy Knorr suggested we go for 2021. That we should try and go for the attendees 2021. But I'm going to answer, how is the conference going? I'm going to say one of the highlights for me is we had a senior in high school from Texas who is reporting on popular culture during our morning show. And I just got an email from her mom asking if she can come back. And she wants to cover how teens and young adults today are possibly the most global thinkers in education. And I'm like, wow, when you get an 18-year-old who's willing to do that. So we will have Krista Collier coming back tomorrow for our morning show.
Wow. That's crazy. I'm going to stick with that. Can you tell me a little bit about the impact of this conference? Because this is the mega conference, and Raul, start thinking, because I'm going to throw the same thing to you in a minute. It's the mega conference between 3 different organizations. What is that like? What have you seen the difference between kind of conglomerate and when you see emails from that, and like, what is this combination like?
It is fantastic. And I would say besides our 3 organizations, I can tell you, I'm seeing people from EDUCAUSE that you'd normally see at an EDUCAUSE conference, people you would see at an ISTE conference, people who you would see at the AECT conference, that we're bringing a lot of people and into it. And I would say the most active ed tech thinkers out there. And the reason I'm saying that is because if you're just meh, you don't sign up for this conference, you don't present at it, and you don't come to it. It has a kind of energy that I would say is starting to rival ISTE energy, but at the same time, we have so many like tech pros like you and Raul and Jerry. I mean, people who you can give, who can talk anything about tech, anything, and troubleshoot any kind of problem. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing the enthusiasm of ISTE, but I'm seeing that our friends from the Northwest conferences are just helping slide in this tech savvy portion to it that you just, you just don't see.
That is awesome. I think you need huge kudos for all of this. This is fantastic. That like amazing. So wow, congrats. Raul. And of course, this is now your who knows how many times, because you've probably been on a lot of the group things, but you're a regular on the show. So reintroduce yourself and your thoughts over this day one.
So yeah, well, thanks, Joe. My name is Raul Burial, and I'm just a lowly tech guy at Oregon State University. I tend to get big ideas, and then I let other people run with them, and that's what happened here. Frankly, it got out of hand, and well, I'd argue at this point when you get people like Kay and Kristen running things are going to get out of hand really fast. I had this idea of, if we're going to have a virtual conference, what do borders even matter anymore when it's virtual? And I reached out to some colleagues at other organizations, and this happened. Yes, we have overlaps, and I like to put things into neat little piles, although that's never really a thing. I like to think that in higher education, when it comes to computing, you've got your IT people, the people who run the servers and software and fix your computers. You've got the AV people, which you might still think of them as people who push the carts around with the monitors on them, although we certainly do something very different than that these days. And you've got like the distance learning pedagogical people who use the computers and the AV stuff that the other two groups have set up. And this essentially brings all of those groups together with the fact that we have over 100 different sessions at any given time. There's as many as 5 different sessions from you to choose from. And there's no reason that any one of those sessions should be focused specifically on one specific aspect of technology. Everything overlaps with everything else. And we all essentially have to become experts on all of these facets these days. So the fact that we have people coming in from all the different organizations, the CCUMCs and the HETMAs when it comes to AV, or SIGUX when it comes to IT, or NWE-Learn or EDUCAUSE when it comes to more of the pedagogical distance learning side of things. Everybody's coming together because we all have knowledge to share with each other. And there's no reason for us not to be able to hear these things. It's not like we're standing around the corner or behind a wall whispering and we can't have the other people hear us, because we're not about to impart on those other people the knowledge we have. This is knowledge that we should all be sharing with each other, and that's what we're seeing happening here.
Yeah, no, I mean, that is so good, because isn't that the key between, if you look at every organization that exists, especially in higher ed, we all have the same goal, but we just might have our own niche within which to do it, right? And the fact that you were able to pull in such similar minded from area organizations and all that is fantastic. And by the way, don't sell you, Mr. I'm just a lowly AV like literally you run my favorite conference of conferences, first off, and with NWMet. And of course, you are the guru with our streaming stuff that all of us AV people go to. So don't sell yourself short. This was awesome. I'm going to go to I love this. So I'm going to go around the table. So everyone else, I have no idea who you are. So I'm going to pick randomly and we're going to go around. I want to hear, introduce yourself, say who you are, who you're with, and your kind of takeaways from day one, and also the conference and some of those things that you're excited about seeing. And I'm sorry, Amy, I'm going to go to you first. Oh, I see now. And the only reason I'm going to go to you first is because my wife's name is Amy. And the fact is, I was recording at 6:30 a.m. Pacific this morning, the episode that's coming out on April 27th. And so I'm kind of in the doghouse for doing that at 6:30 in the morning. So the first question you can ask is, how do you feel about your significant other if they're recording a podcast episode at 6:30 a.m.?
I'd probably be up.
Yeah, well, there you go. See, good. No, introduce yourself and tell them about kind of your experience from day one and the conference here.
Yeah, so I'm Amy Spielmaker. I'm with Northwest eLearn. I'm the chair-elect. And my part, anyway, for the conference was putting together the kind of schedule page, pulling in the different information there. And so from my perspective, day one, it's always like, there's going to be a bug. And of course there is, there's a couple things, but I don't know. It was nice that everybody was able to just like roll with it. Oh, the presenter's not here. We just started like a minute ago. Okay, we'll just like keep going, So I don't know. Things went wrong, but it was okay.
Wait, so hold on. It says here in the chat, so I'm watching the chat, like a good host. It says dynamic. How did you? Okay, so a few weeks ago when we were recording this thing, we're like, oh yeah, there's a schedule. I'm like, that was a scheduling nightmare. How do you?
Well, I fortunately didn't do Kristen did all the like, what session goes here, what session, and then put it all into a Google spreadsheet, and then you just pull it into the website.
I love how you make it sound so easy.
Yeah, there's a lot more involved in that. But.
Yeah, it is. And that's the thing that I love. When I was looking at all this, I'm like, which do you pick? mean, it's the quality of the content. And you're like, because usually when you have AV conferences and stuff, which is, majority of the audience is kind of listening here, is like, you have your niche and kind of where you want to go. But then I look at this and go, oh, wait a minute. And maybe that's the whole thing about our quote unquote, a new normal. Wait, hold on. Got a drink. I said new normal. Everyone drink. And so I'll just say pivot too. So we can get that one out of the way. We'll say pivot and drink on that one. But when we look at like our scopes have grown, isn't it? Right? Is that kind of the thing that we've all noticed through this is we were so used to being niched. And now the fact that you could take all these different disciplines and pull them together and go, yeah, I need that one because I have to deal with faculty. Yeah, I need that one because I'm the AV person. Yeah, I need that one because I'm the IT person. Yeah, I need that one. Like, have you noticed some of that? And I'm throwing it back to you, but.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. All the sessions, I'm like, oh, yep. Even though I'm not in K-12, I have students who are teachers of K-12. So, this actually does apply to me. Oh, that one applies to me too.
Absolutely. And I think that's the coolest thing to me that we can take away from the whole COVID crisis experience. All of that is just reaching out to everybody and realizing how we all impact one another, both in humanity's sake and as well as in our work's sake. So thank you. That was awesome. I'm jumping next. I'm going to go verticals here. Chris, you were on with me when I first hopped on. Chris L., introduce yourself, what you do,
Sure.
takeaways, things, random fun facts about your life.
Okay, I'm Chris Lukes. I'm with the eLearning Consortium Colorado, and I serve as the awards chair. So for me, it's been a celebration. The first day has been wonderful. We put together across 3 organizations the Technology Team Award. So this is a celebration of e-learning and innovation that occurred over the past year. And we have 10 nominees that have done a wide variety of work, whether it's new remote learning, our new coined phrase for the year, and online, people bringing rapid online deployment. We have online role play in response to the pandemic. So that way students can get into conflict resolution and diplomacy skills. We have a wide variety of institutions, 4 years, as well as community colleges that are submitting. So we have a popular vote contest going on right now. So everyone gets to vote. They can advertise it to their institutions. And it's a great way to celebrate all the hard work that everyone's done and really give a shout out to everyone and all the teams that have put in so much work to really sort of support our faculty and our students, as well as our institutions. And so that's one of the big takeaways for me is it's really just getting out that vote and letting everyone just celebrate the entire year. The other thing we've done is we've incorporated a Discord back channel, and I've seen a lot of people celebrate that as well, because they're like, I can share pictures of pets, I can share articles, I can share lots of things. And it's giving it that more of that fluidity and depth to the conference that is kind of missing in that Zoom channel where it's just a standard flat link, whereas in Discord it will embed a video into the Discord so you can actually watch it in that platform, or it'll embed at least a bit of the article or the web page in that site so that we can start reading it there.
I absolutely love that, because I mean the thing is putting things like Discord and whatever, Telegram, you call your thing, is the fact of creating a social engagement with a conference is the thing that was missing for the first year, right? When we all did these virtual conferences and we said, basically they were just glamorized webinars, right? That you just called a virtual conference. But that's not what this has been. It's been the opportunity to engage with one another and continue the conversation parallel, away from, alongside whatever other thing I can think of from the content that's there. And I think that part of that is, okay, now how do we continue that? So kind of your thoughts, like, this is great. We've got 3 days of this. Do you see conversations that can be able to continue from that, et cetera?
We're seeing some of them growing. One of the things we've done is we're starting to play around with some of the text channels as well as some of the breakout areas to allow people to, number one, you have some just general social chat areas, but we're also starting to see breakouts for particular topic areas, as well as the three organizations are also setting out their own discussion areas where they're posting different information and getting people to interact there as well. So there's definitely the foundational work being done right now to have that extended discussion that's there. And the nice thing about Discord, it's really easy and simple to get into. That's one of the nice things about that system. And the biggest thing is it's just everyone continuing to go to it. I mean, it's one of the nice things about it is once you log in, it's set your notifications to where you want it to be. It doesn't have to be. It's not a very necessarily a chatty, social aspect to it. So people can keep coming back as they want. And so I think we definitely have the foundations for continuing this discussions.
No, that's awesome. All right, and then how about this? Who are you voting for the People's Choice Award? I'm just kidding. You don't have to say it.
I have to count the votes, so it's like, which is easy because it's a form. So I just
say, doesn't it count it for itself? Hasn't Google figured out that part yet? I mean, everybody who is watching live right now, make sure you go. We know we're streaming across multiple platforms, and I'm streaming. And if you're listening to this after it's posted, well, too bad. But and I guess I'll report later who the winner was. But the fact is, you need to go. The link is in the chat right now. Go vote for the People's Choice Award. And no, I won't tell you to vote for. All right. What I will do is I will go on, because in the chat, I was told that Brandon is the moderator and quote unquote tech genius. So I'm going to Mr. ELCC, tech genius. Introduce yourself. Welcome to the show. I feel like
thank you.
And who are you with? And your takeaways from day one and looking forward to the future of the conference.
Yeah. So my name is Brandon Pouliot. I don't think I have a title, but this time around I was like the volunteer coordinator and did all of the scheduling of the sessions in Zoom. Raul helped me with setting up streaming. So I kind of handled a lot of the stuff behind the curtain. And
volunteer or voluntold?
I think I kind of fell into it. Yeah, I think I volunteered for that. So yeah. I love biting off more than I can chew. So this was an obvious choice. No, so first day, big things. I actually got to moderate a session on 3D augmented reality, and so watched live as Clint Carlson out of CU created objects and then put them next to the objects he modeled them after in his house. Showed all that on kit. That was awesome. Had never really seen that before. Big takeaway though, I think we had a great keynote this morning. I think we started off on a strong note with doing something like a land acknowledgement, which is something that is an awesome thing. If you don't know what it is, join our Discord, we can tell you, or join the morning show tomorrow, because Kay and Chris are going to talk about it. So I'm really looking forward to just seeing how things evolve. I think we're going to have more and more people jump on as we get the word out. And I'm excited about kind of the smorgasbord of sessions that we have. I
love that. I love how you actually, wait, hold on. I love how you just hit the mute button. All of a sudden it was like dead air. Like there's a random sound, a nice hum, then dead air. No, but I think you nailed it. The keynote is fantastic. The community is fantastic. And that's the thing that has made this conference throughout all of it. So kudos to that. You're all right, well, I'm sorry, but promote your podcast.
So, okay. So, and I'm sorry, I forgot to turn off my window fan. This room is extremely hot. So that's that nice hum you hear in the background. So my podcast is called The ID and the Ego, and it's centered around instructional design and technology, but just kind of education in general, current and kind of persistent issues there. And I'm I'm kind of new to the scene. I have the much cheaper version of the boom microphone. So yeah, maybe you can teach me something, give me some pointers. I think number one might be turn off the fan.
No, it makes a nice background sound. It works well when all of a sudden it went to like dead air. Here's the pointer. Okay, we're going to start with the top 10 things you need to do when you start a podcast. And the top 10 things you need to do is be able to wing it. Number 10, wing it. Number 9, have a sound pound with that and a trombone. That is number 9. Number 8, top reasons is all of a sudden, don't be shocked when you say 10 people show up at your webinar and you have no idea how to run a 50-minute show with 10 people who show up on a live podcast. Number 7 is always have people like Raul book the show for you so you don't have to worry about the guest for the next week. That is number 7. Number 6 way to have a top podcast is, yes, have a good microphone. A good microphone is great. And by the way, even though I am not on it, I would like to say that Sennheiser is a great sponsor of this podcast. We love Sennheiser products. The best microphone I've ever used in my life is a Sennheiser 945, which is what I started with when I first started this podcast. And let me just tell you how much I love Sennheiser microphones. And then the next, what was number was I? I was 6. Number 5 way to have a successful podcast. I'm going here is have a good webcam. And let me tell you how much I love the Hudley IQ webcam, a wonderful sponsor of the Higher Ed AV podcast. And the things you can do with the Hudley IQ, found at hudley.com, is fantastic. And then number 4 way to have a good podcast. Again, I want to go back to guests because the guests have been fantastic. Raul was one of the very first guests. Gosh, you were down there, number 20. You were probably you were down there. You were down, way down. I'm at 125 right now. Number 3 way to have a great podcast is silent moment here because we have to get serious for a second. Number 3 reason to have a way to have a good podcast is to think about the content because it's your listener who matters, right? What is it your listener needs? What is it they're dying for each week? What makes them say to you when you skip a week, what happened to you? Content. Meet them where they are. The number 2 way to have a successful podcast is right here. Aaron, a drinking game. I have done a number of drinking games on this podcast. I would have left that at number 1. It's have good chat on your podcast. Wait, do I say the word fantastic a lot? I thought I say it's gold. I have no. And then the number 1 way to have a good successful podcast is to know your thing. And here I'm going off of number 2, and it's this. Hold on, here we go again. You got to have your way of singing, and you got to start with the theme music. Good theme music is solid. See, everyone's rocking out the theme music, and then you have to know how to start it. Hey, welcome to the Higher Ed AV podcast. My name is Joe Way. I am your host, and we have a good one for you today. And then you just go on to whatever, right? There you go. That's how you have a successful podcast in the top 10 ways right there. And I think I started with wing it at number 10. Did I do all right with winging it? Was that a good wing it? All right, there we go. All right, we're going to leave that. Yeah, he would be proud. And by the way, if you do go back and listen to previous episodes, do not listen to the drinking game episode. It was actually the single worst episode ever, by the way. It went so far off track that it's not worth listening to, just so you know. All right. I'm gonna go next here, and I just feel bad whoever I'm following up with. I've only got a couple. Gregory, you were on when I first came on, so therefore you're next. Tell everyone who you are, what you do, takeaways, and your top 10.
Joe, I really appreciate you picking me after after that, plus the genius. So I'm on the committee for ELK. During my other times during the day, I'm an instructional designer at Colorado State University. And as Brandon is well aware of, I drank way too much coffee this morning. And in preparation for our keynote speaker, who I actually work with at Colorado State. So I was a bit nervous this morning, wanted to make sure everything worked well. And of course, when I typed in the login and password, I typed too fast. I panicked. I said, Brandon! And fortunately, as Brandon and Kristen usually do, they stepped in. I just had to slow down my keystrokes and was able to get in just fine. And I would say, from my perspective, today was a smash. I mean, every presentation that I went to or was a moderator for, the presenters were well informed, ready to go, and just fired up. And I didn't have to do much as a moderator, other than to take care of questions at the end. So yeah, I think, I don't know how everybody else feels, but from my perspective, today was fantastic. And I think maybe based on our initial virtual conference last year, maybe we feel a little more confident about what we're doing this year. But as Amy said, there's always those little gotchas that creep up, but they seem not to be that many today. So yeah. So thanks for letting me follow you, Joe. I really appreciate it.
You know what? But I'm now waiting for your top 10 list. No, but here's the thing. I will tell you honestly, when I first came on and I'm thinking, okay, so I'm doing the day one end here. You don't know how it's going to go, but every single person who hops on is like, they're chill, they're relaxed. I'm like, oh, they feel they had a great conference. This is good, because you never know. Even if your guests feel like they had a great conference, you could still be pulling your hair out. Well, you and I have the same haircut, so that's okay. We're not really pulling our hair out. But you always know, like, okay, they're stressed. Things went, but like all 10 people or 9 people plus me are like, oh, we're chill. We good. This one great. And that says a lot about the way a conference goes by kind of how you're feeling at the end of day one. So just tell me, I'm going to stay with you. You said from last year's virtual, what are those changes like? And you can even take it to COVID. You can take it to new normal, next normal, whatever. Those differences from a year to year. Like, I mean, are we staying this way? What's happening with us?
Well, I would say, and I think my cohorts here would say, of the people on this line, I probably fall at the bottom in terms of tech skills. I mean, I work in technology, but these people that are on this line with us now, they are tech aficionados. I learned so much from them. And so I know they put in a lot of work, but it seemed pretty seamless with respect to setting up YouTube, with getting everything just set up. So I just had a greater sense of confidence going into this conference, and then the opportunity to match up with 2 other organizations has been fantastic as well, learning from them, learning how they do it. I think it's okay to say Elk's a little, what would you call this, Kay? A little flippant, a little
we're irreverent,
less process oriented.
Oh, no wonder you invited me.
We're okay. You would say we're irreverent, and we're more likely to be agile in a kind of, as you would say, wing it kind of way.
Get
You
that
said
spin.
it so much better than I would have said it.
Agile in a wing it kind of way. I love
We're more
that.
likely to giggle. Okay.
All right.
But
So
having said that, I would also say having our other 2 organizations has really, I think, helped our organization realize, you know, process isn't such a bad thing. Documentation is not such a bad thing. Having agendas, not such a bad thing.
I'm hearing a lot of things about documentation for some reason. I don't know what.
Yeah. So
I'm feeling very seen, and I'm not sure that's a good thing.
what fun is documentation? might as well learn it all over again the next year when there's a new conference organizer, right? Why would you let them and, have a little, it's the fun of learning it as you go. No, that's awesome, Greg. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Of course. All right. I got to flip a coin. I got 2 people left. So here we go. Which side does it go? Wei, here we go. You're up next.
Hi, I'm Wei Zhang from Oregon State University. I was the chair of Northwest Elon last year, and actually Raul and I have been talking about a joint conference for NWMet and Northwest Elon for maybe 2 years prior to this year. So when Raul brought up this idea of having a joint conference for all 3 organizations, I was really excited. And of course, all of our Northwest ELR colleagues jumped right on board. So I really truly love the diversity and how the 3 organizations bring in different flavors and session topics to make this conference really, really diverse. We also have attendees from across the nation. So that's been really wonderful too. And of course, this is a super great team of people to work with. Discord has been really, really busy, and whenever there's a question posted on the channel, somebody is jumping right in and ready to help out. So it's just been really, really, a really good day. Yes, like Amy said, there were some hiccups, but we have so many helpers and things were taken care of so quickly. So it's been great.
No, that's awesome. Okay, so now just pretend it's just you and me. No one else is here. It's just you and I. Let's be honest about the other conferences for a second here, okay? So are there challenges working with other conferences? Do they have their ways they want to do things and they have the ways you want to do things? They're not here. They're not here. Just look away.
I think it's, working with different organizations, just working with different colleagues. Everyone has different personality. Everyone has different preferences and different ways of doing things. We can agree to disagree. It's not a bad thing, and it's nice to hear different perspectives and be flexible and willing to look at things differently and rethink the way we have been doing things, and maybe we can change and have this discussion. So I think all of us, I don't want to speak for everybody, but at least most of us have this shared idea, and that's how we've been working together in the past few months. So
yeah, no, and actually, and I jest, but the thing is this has been a fantastic group of just so many ways where we all touch one another, yet in slightly different ways, yet we all impact one another. What I think my takeaway is that we can't forget that what we do in our role has other impacts across our campuses. Right? You can't have the AV person make a decision that then doesn't impact the pedagogy of somebody else. It doesn't impact the online learning of somebody else. That doesn't. And I think that that's the key in what I have noticed. And while from a way that we decide to run a conference, and as a conference organizer myself, it's you kind of sit there and go, I have a thing that I want to do, but yet you have to remember that we're all in it for each other. And I think that's kind of been the thing that's been awesome to me. Do you notice that same thing?
Yeah, sure. Yes.
Yeah, I should have done a much more open. Okay. The top 10 things not to do when you host a podcast. Number 10, do not ask closed-ended questions that only have yes or no answers. I'll just leave it at that. That's like number 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Never ask a closed-ended question. So wait. Let me ask you, what do you think about that? See, open-ended question. That's the right thing.
About that, can you be more specific?
I have no idea. Okay, top 10. Number 9 is do not ask questions that they forgot by the time you got to the question.
We've talked a lot, so I just wanted to know which was.
My wife says I talk a lot too. Oh, okay. Hey, Jerry, welcome to the show. And so we're gonna go. Oh, yeah. Okay, Brandon, learn how to save yourself. There's the number. There's another skill for your podcast. Okay, Jerry, welcome to the show. Tell everyone who you're with and your thoughts from day one and beyond.
All right. Well, so I'm Jerry Lewis, and I'm the director of e-learning and virtual campus at Columbia Basin College in Pasco, Washington, which is on the not green side of the state. We're in southeastern Washington, about 30 miles from the border of Oregon. And so day one was great. I moderated a session in the morning, and that takes a lot of attention, actually. But it went well. The speaker, I was ready to introduce the speaker, and she just took over, and she did it all herself, and pretty much handled it. So that was great, and the subject was interesting, and the other session, the keynote was great, and the other sessions have been interesting too. Some of the hardest part is figuring out which one you're going to go to, and so I'm looking forward to days 2 and 3. I have to say that I am a former audiovisual professional prior to
that.
Huh?
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's okay. It's okay. It was fun while I did it, but it was good to move on. And actually, I left when the company went bankrupt. So just emerged from bankruptcy. So that's
a way to move on. Yeah.
Turned out well. I mean, it still kept going, but the guy who took my position, who'd been there for 15 years, was gone in 6 months. So yeah, it was a good move. And then I moved to the college, but anyway, so yeah, it was a great session. It's been real, and also, so like in couple of my emails that I sent out promoting it, I said it's not your grandpa's e-learning conference, although I might qualify. I'm not a grandpa, although I could qualify for being a grandpa. And as a matter of fact, I shouldn't say, perhaps they'd say this because it'll date me, but our attendance, as last announced, is the same as my birth year. So I could be a grandpa. Anyway, and as far as Northwest e-learning goes, I am the grandpa. I went to the second conference. I think that was in 2007, and then I was voluntold to join the board, and then I volunteered to become co-chair. Then I volunteered to host it at my college the first year I was on the board, and and actually, so Northwest eLearn has evolved a lot. I mean, in those early years, I did the database for the schedule, and I put it up on the web. I programmed that, and I have to say that really gives. I really like what Amy did. It was so much better than what I was doing. What I did was fine, but this is much more easier to use. Anyway, so and I did a lot of I did a lot of stuff. I wore a lot of hats. Now I'm the treasurer, so I pay the bills and take the money in, and we haven't really had very much of that. And for this conference, I don't feel like I've really done a ton. I've attended and I've contributed and did a little tricky thing here and there that helped out. So, it's great though. Northwest eLearn itself has gotten a lot more kind of organized, and we have documentation, which is, it's pretty helpful because we have people coming in and out, but working with ELK in particular has been awesome because it sort of expands our horizons, and they have a ton of energy, and unlike Northwest eLearn, I think they have a kind of a core of people that have done this for a while. We have too, but people do sort of drop off and new people come on, probably more so in Northwest eLearn. So anyway, but just the energy and the different things that they do in their conference, like the radio show and the morning show and the socials, and it's just great.
And the live podcast recording.
The live podcast recording, yeah. So yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Now, you went so many places there. Like you gave me so much content for an entire episode, but I can't do an entire episode off of that. So let's just say I understand the need to wear a hat. You and I were right there together. We got that. Those who are watching via video will understand what I'm saying. So I'm going to leave that. And because I got a message here in the chat that Raul, I'm turning it right back over to you.
Thank you, Joe. I just wanted to say, I mean, a lot of people were responsible for making this happen, and we do have to recognize all the volunteers. And I'm sure, Brandon, you'll be able to name all 27 of them. So we'll just throw it to you in a moment. But I have to give a shout out to Anna Thompson, who is at the University of Washington, Bothell. And she's not able to be here this afternoon, but she is integral to both NW eLearn and NW Met. She was in fact our conference director at NW Met a couple of years ago. So there is a lot of overlap between the organizations here, and we see that, and it speaks to the fact that no one does one singular job. And so Anna Thompson is a great person and just an incredible resource. And we're lucky to have her here. And it's just unfortunate that she couldn't be here to speak for herself. But she'll be around over the next few days throughout the conference. I believe she will be at the wrap-up presentation on Friday afternoon. So look for her there. And I wanted to be sure to mention her here during the podcast.
That is awesome. And I think that what you've done is notice that, you know, the whole, like, you know, it takes a village thing. And that's what I've noticed off of this as we went around. This is probably the first time that I'm at, well, I forgot I hit a while ago, but we are at quite a few minutes of a recording. And everybody just kind of kept, like, I've never had to take the entire episode just to introduce the guests. That's what I'm going to say. All right. And I literally just put in the chat, I'm like, are we hard stopped at 4:30 when, like, the thing says? Because it took that long, and not because that there's 9 guests. All right, because there's 9 guests. But let's pretend it's not because there's 9 guests. It's because everybody has such a unique take on this very unique event. So we're going to play a game now. It's game time. All right. We're not going to end right at 4:50. Sorry about that. We're going to go an extra 10 minutes or so, but I know that people are going to, it's been a long day. All right. But here we go. I have very, very famous on my podcast. I have we did top 10. So the number 11 thing to do is have a gimmick. Now, have a gimmick on your podcast, and I do a rapid round. Rapid round is just fun questions that mean absolutely nothing, unless I have an opinion of myself on my own, in which case you could have a wrong answer. But it's very simple. We have 9 guests here, and does everyone love the fact that on Zoom you can move things around? So I move myself to the bottom, so I got 9 people there, and I got Raul right in Raul's my Alice. So there we go. I know. Look at that. There you go. So I move that around. Very simple. Okay. So do we have the ability to do the emojis down here? I see my raised hand, we don't, do we? Or do we? Nope. I don't know. Oh, well, we only got raised hands.
Not in the webinars.
But we got raised hands. Okay. So here we go. These are all basic true and false questions. True and false questions. This is the best podcast you've ever listened to. True or false?
True.
No, you're supposed to use the raised hand. The raised hand.
I warned you about my technology skills, Joe.
Okay, there we go. All right, we're good. And those who said, oh my gosh, the hands make people move around. That's going to freak me out. Okay. All right, next question. True or false? Using your hands. NW Met is the best of the 3 conferences. 3. We got 3. All right. Well, I had to try, right? Raul, I'm there with you. Okay. All right. You can lower your hands. True or false? So, I guess I need to tell the listeners the answers, don't I? Okay. So yes, this was the best podcast I would listen to. NW Met got 3 of the 9. Well, sorry. Okay. So true or false here? The state of California is the best state that your attendees have come from. Gregory doesn't know how to put his hand down, so therefore I got one vote. All right, so there we go. All right, hey, I'll take it. I will take it. Okay, let's see. I got to go here. True or false? AV is better than what are the other? Than the, I don't know. Where am I going with it? Ro, help me out here. AV is better than
IT.
IT. AV is better than IT. Let's go with that. 1, 2. All right, we're good. 1. Wait, you lost a vote. Oh, 2. Okay, there we go. You can't lose votes while you're doing this. Okay, all right, we're doing this again. True or false? This conference will be the highest attendance of any of them all moving forward. Oh, because this is a controversial one. This kind of, you have to balance growth versus, right? You got to think about, and the answer, we got seven votes. So, all right. So with that being said, we had 2 people. We had Chris and Kay say no. Chris, why will this not be the most attended?
I think that I think we're going to take some takeaways from this, and I wouldn't be surprised if we have some virtual components moving forward.
All right, Kay, why will this not be the most attended?
Oh my God, because we can do better. We can get more attendees. This is
All right.
This is a foundation. This is a floor, not a ceiling.
I like it. I like it. Oh, foundation, not a ceiling. That should be an episode title. If I titled my episodes, that would be the episode title. But the title of this one will be live recording from the mega conference. So, episode number 125, whatever. So it's not really very exciting. Oh, okay. Number 8 thing not to do on when you host a podcast is have boring episode titles. Okay. All right. And all right, we need one more. All right. Now, this is going to take like an hour to go through everybody. All right. You only get 30 seconds. You get 30 seconds. Okay. I have a segment of my, oh yes. Remember, back to segments. Got to have segments. Is normally I do your favorite college tradition, but 3 of the people have already answered that. I can do that. So here's what we're going to do. Each of you get 30 seconds, and you're all mixed up now because of the hand raise. So I'm just going to go across. It's the soapbox segment. I want you to you get 30 seconds to talk about anything you want. Any takeaway from the conference, anything that you want people to know. You can take it however you want. And I'm sorry, Brandon, but you're in the corner. So you get to go first. So this is your soapbox.
Honestly, I think I would just talk about my biggest thing in ID is we need to bring inclusive practices into how we design our courses. I think that's been a big part of this conference is focusing on that. And I really, there's a passion for that. And it's everybody. So it's all of the communities of it's people who are in a minority, LGBTQIA+, anybody who's differently abled. We need to bring them all in and give them access to education.
I love that. Is that like the mic drop moment right there for the show? I think that was it. I apologize for everyone who has to go after. And so, Jerry, guess what? You get the tough follow again. So here we go. Now, let's do this. Your soapbox moment.
Well, yeah. So because Brandon took care of the important stuff, I'll just go off on something else, But well, I guess I'd like to see people stop complaining as much about Zoom and other technologies. Although I did go to the one about taking a break or disengaging from stuff. But Zoom, they're double-edged swords, and so like Zoom, I mean, it can be kind of tiresome to be all day on Zoom, but it also allows us to reach out. We have people from across the nation and probably from other, from other places in the world, coming in all together. Or I go to a weekly thing where people from my family, my dad's side of the family, meet every week. Wouldn't see them but once every 2 or 3 or 4 years, So let's quit complaining and take the pluses with the minuses.
Love it. That is right. Downside is it's all the other platforms you complain about, like WebEx. What Zoom is fine. Okay. All right. So like I said, there's opinions if I disagree. Gregory, you had a tough follow last time too. Now you got another tough one. Here we go. Your 30-second soapbox.
Well, this is a real stretch, but I have before me the newest Paul McCartney CD, which I got for Easter. I'm just a huge Paul McCartney fan, dating back to the Beatles even. But there's a song on this CD. This is the stretch. It's called Seize the Day. And as I was listening to this, drinking coffee this morning, prepping for the conference, I thought, we're really seizing the day today. 1,900 people coming to this conference, working for, I don't know how long we've been working on this, guys, couple months, I guess, meetings, Zooms, emails, Google this, Google that. And today we, in my mind, we seized the day, and God bless Paul McCartney. So that's my contribution.
So good. This is getting harder to follow. I apologize for everybody. I'm sorry, ladies. Ladies are the last 4 on my screen. I said I was going across. My bad. But anyway, Chris, you're up next. Oh, that was so good. Paul McCartney. Oh, I need some Paul McCartney.
All right. I would say take the celebratory, take the momentum, take the initiatives and the energy that you get from this conference and spread it at home. Use it for your initiatives. Use this as a way to springboard and take these ideas and leverage them. If you get the vote out and then use whatever everyone else is doing it, and use our ideas. If you want to do a technology team award at your institution, use it. It's something we need to celebrate. This is definitely the time we need to celebrate all of our successes and really get everyone back together and really sort of realign and collaborate and move forward and help our students and keep moving forward.
Love that. Love that. And I think that's what we all need with our teams right now is a little celebration. This has been a really tough time for our people. And I think if we can celebrate their wins right now, and celebrate that collaboration, we just need to stop, collaborate, and listen. That's what we need to do. He got it. There we go. All right. All right. Love it. Raul, your soapbox.
Wow. Okay. I mean, you guys were chastising Greg about documenting and organizing the conference and getting your ducks in a row. I hate to break it to you guys, but I was corresponding with the 2022 organizing committee earlier today, where it's never too early to plan for next year. So Northwest Met will be having their conference in person in Idaho, in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, beautiful Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, in 2022. And hopefully we'll see many of you there in attendance. But what I do, honestly, I think what's important, what I do want to say is that keynote we had this morning, Albert Lionel, about everybody and their inherent biases was just mind-blowing. It was fantastic. He mentioned in his presentation a documentary called Coded Bias, which is actually available right now on Netflix. You all may have heard of this in the grapevine at some point, but it has to do with a woman who discovered that facial recognition software was racist. Perhaps not intentionally so, almost certainly not intentionally so, but it reflected the inherent biases of the people who coded the facial recognition software. And this is a documentary about that. And this is something that I think is very eye-opening, and I think we all need to be aware about it, and we need to recognize our inherent biases and move past them.
Love that. I was going to cut you off at your 30 seconds. You went way past, but you gave a very good point. And I love that. And I thought go through the chat. If you have a link, why don't you throw it in for people too? That would be fantastic. Kate, you're up next. Your soapbox.
Okay, well, of course, I have that ready. Okay, so I'm putting it up on the screen.
Oh.
So what? I like almost every presentation with this. Electronic Frontier Foundation. Keep the internet weird. Defend net neutrality. I mean, of everything that I can add on to what Raul and Brandon said is technology for the public good. Okay? And we should be technologists for the public good. And that's it. Drop the mic.
Wow. Okay. Number 12 thing you need to do when you have a podcast is have guests come to your show who are ready with their own content. I mean, like, that was fantastic. Like that literally is a first that someone has screen shared content. Like, I actually don't even know what to do. So therefore, I'm just going to go to Kristen, who's next on my screen. Your soapbox.
I'm going to squeeze on the soapbox with other people. And just mention that my soapbox would be that for every area where you can see bias and you can see injustice, remember the people who live at the intersections of more than one of those. Intersectionality and that deeper, if you are a trans woman of color, you are facing a lot more than just any one of those things. And it's a very downward spiraled synergy. So just remember those multiply, not add.
I love that. And I think that this is one of those things where we get our blind spots too, right? Where it's really easy to see things through our ways and not recognize, and that the things and choices we make are impacted by others. And this is one of those, to stop for a moment, I even had a conversation earlier today with one of our designers, and we were talking about our accessible classrooms. And one of the conversations we were talking about with how to design it. And I actually happen to have a niece who was in a tragic accident, who is now wheelchair bound. I said, well, why don't we just bring her in to test our classroom? Why don't we stop talking about it and think what we think she needs and bring her in to do it? Right. And so I love that. That is fantastic.
Joe, I'm going to interrupt. There's a phrase. It's called nothing about us without us. And it's like the theme of the ADA. So just throwing that in there.
I love that. I love that. This is one of my favorite rapid rounds ever. My soapboxes. This is good. Wait, you're up next. Your soapbox.
My soapbox have two words: reflect and rethink. We tend to do things in ways we are used to, and trying new things can be really scary and uncomfortable at times. But really, trying new things or trying to improve old things is how we can grow and be better. Diversity and innovation are worth celebrating at all different levels, whether it's in an organization or in our classrooms. I think a conference like this really reminds us of this.
I love that, because I think that's one of those things that we rarely do, right? Especially in I think about how many great conferences and sessions I attend, and you think, okay, I need to do this, and I take it, and I need to apply it, and then life hits when you get back to campus, right? And to take that time, stop and think, how am I going to apply this and make this change my life and those who I'm here to serve? Love that. Amy, you're last up here, only because that's the order it was on my screen. So your soapbox.
All right, my soapbox. This echoes a little bit of what Wei said, but not letting perfect be the enemy of good, right?
Mm-hmm.
So often in higher ed, we get stuck in this process and, oh, but that's not the way we do things. And, oh, it's like, this is incorrect. Oh, but that's the process. And so with this conference and setting it up with everybody and the agileness and winging it, taking that back, I guess, and trying to do that in places where it's not really how it's been done before, but yeah. Perfect. The enemy of good.
I love it because that is what we focus on, right? Especially as an organizer as a conference. I know it can be really easy to think this has to go perfect. What's going to happen here? And you realize that we're all just here to learn and to give and to receive and be a community together. And I think when we keep that mentality, that's what really makes us all succeed. And that I think that's a special thing about higher ed too, is we're all here with that same thought of kind of sharing among one another. And that's one thing I've noticed here. So that's fantastic. I love that. I only went 18 minutes over my time. That's it. I went 18 minutes. That's it. So, well, it's going to be 19 because I got to end the show now. So here we go. The number 13 thing you need to learn how to do to have a successful podcast is know how to end the show. So here we go. Hey, I want to thank you everybody for listening today. Thank you for the guests. This was fantastic. I just want to give a personal thanks for inviting me, because really everyone's looking for a best session and you bring me and that's what you get. I mean, well, I'm just kidding. I cannot thank enough. This conference is one where I think it has changed virtual conferences forever. It has changed the way we work together with those who deal with from AV to learning to pedagogy to every different aspect of digital learning. You're all listening. You're all attending. I don't even know why I'm trying to tell you what this is about. But the fact is that we have this opportunity to come together and change our campuses for good. You heard it on this soapbox. In so many different ways, we have the opportunity to do that. So I do thank you all for inviting me. Hope you all enjoyed this time. And of course, as the disclaimer is, all the opinions expressed here are not necessarily those of our institutions that we represent or the sponsors of this show. And of course, if you did not like these opinions, be sure to listen next time. There may be better ones.